Right. Hello, everyone. My name is Anson. This is Adrian. We're year three English majors at CUHK, and today we'd like to share with you our experiences as English majors and hopefully give you an impression of what the department is like. I remember 3 years ago when I was also attending one of these seminars on Zoom. During student sharing, I thought to myself, what an honor it would be to be able to represent the department and give a speech here. And here I am. And I also remember the passion and anticipation I had for what life would be like, choosing to study English at CU. And I'm very glad to say that this was the single best decision I've made in my life so far. Life here is everything I thought it would be and so much more. Little did I know I was embarking on a journey that would transform my values, my life goals, and my person as a whole. I also remember my journey began with OCamp, where I met my first group of friends who are still with me to this day, and are some of my closest friends. Maybe you've heard some people tell you that you can't find real friends at university. Let me tell you, that's a bunch of baloney. All the friends that I treasure and love most, I found here in the English department. And I think the reason is that most English majors are very like-minded. We have very similar values, and I've always found it so easy to talk to these people because English majors are open-minded, kind-hearted, sensitive, warm, and empathetic. And this includes also the professors and the office staff, who are some of the most helpful and understanding people in the world. So really, I think what characterizes our department is the people. And I think it's something you can experience firsthand the moment you step foot into our department. As someone who takes a lot of literature courses, I can tell you subjectively that the greatest joy of studying literature isn't necessarily the literary works themselves. Rather, it comes from appreciating the creative ideas and perspectives that your classmates and professors offer, and yourself as well. And this, I think, is exactly what makes a degree in English so special. You learn to appreciate the people around you and yourself as well for the creativity and originality that you are capable of. And because the human creativity is limitless, English is one of those subjects that, as you spend more time studying it, it will keep on rekindling your passion rather than snuffing it out. And throughout the year, we have activities like movie night, board game night, singing contests, and reading circle, where English majors can socialize and stretch their artistic muscles. There are also college-affiliated English societies that offer chances for you to socialize in smaller, more tight-knit groups and lead student activities before easing your way into bigger events like organizing the orientation camp for freshmen, so that it doesn't matter whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, there's always a place for you in the department to create, to learn, to make friends, and to lead. Speaking of big events, there are actually two that we'd like to share in much greater detail to you guys. I'll let Adrian do the honors.
Thank you, Anson, for the wonderful sharing. And now I'll talk more about the two major events that Anson teased. But first, let me begin with a little bit of my journey to English, CUHK English, which is quite different from Anson's because I got in through non-JUPAS means. So clearly this score is not very favorable. And honestly, back then I was quite miserable and lonely 3 years ago before I got into CUHK English. And having to spend an extra year doing online classes in the associate degree certainly didn't help with my mentality. But when I got into CUHK English, this is when not only did I re-expanded my social circle, hone my social skills, it actually rekindled my passion for the theatrical arts, which I've always held during the secondary school, but it lacked a suitable platform for me to express myself because the Andrew Parkin Drama Club is when I first actually started to learn more about the nitty-gritty of hosting a drama production, where I adapted a script, directed the production as well as acted in it, and it sort of like gave me a new sense of appreciation for the theatrical arts. And to repay that, I actually became an assistant consultant, applied to be an assistant consultant as well as the master of ceremony for the next year's APC, which sorry, I might got too far ahead of myself. It's an annual drama competition hosted within the English department for everyone to flourish their theatrical spark and passion in an extracurricular activity sort of way. And this is when I was able to not only further confirm my ambition toward this regard, but nail down on the direction of my career path, which is to become a drama instructor. And I just have to thank the English department for giving me a chance to get in touch, to reconnect with that aspect of myself. But of course, there's also courses in drama and performance where you can learn more about different types of theater, and as well as the sort of, well, it's actually where I met a group of people that I am very happy to engage with and like really get a sense of belonging after feeling like an outsider within my own secondary school for so long. And of course, for literature courses, I have to point out Romanticism and existentialism, which gave me a new lens in viewing the world by reanalyzing our condition of life and our raison d'etre, which I really wouldn't have been able to see, to have this paradigm shift without these courses. And not to mention, I met my best friend there, so that's another good thing. And now let's move on to the Oxford Summer Program, which is basically a 2 weeks program where you will be in the social surrounding of Oxford, living there, as well as learning from Oxford tutors regarding the topics of literature, linguistics, as well as British politics. And this is the time that really broadened my mind, because I could have never imagined how it would be like to have classes in Oxford, let alone to get in touch with this fresh mode of education where you're basically having classes in a garden. Like, can you imagine that, in a conversational base with a tutor within a small class? And and we also got to see a play, which is provided by the apartment actually. And that's basically my part of the sharing. Thank you.
Yes, I would just like to add that Romanticism and Existentialism really are two courses that I think are very relevant to this day. And if you do ever come into the English department, I hope you take them. It gave me a completely new lens to view the world, and existentialism is something that I think about a lot nowadays. Right, so thanks, Adrian, and what happened? Right, there you go. Right. I'd also like to thank the department for organizing this Oxford Exchange and for letting me go on it. To say it was eye-opening is an understatement. During my time there, I got to watch two musicals, Les Miserables and Hamilton, which were amazing. And thanks to my studies in literature, I was actually equipped with the tools to critically appreciate the details in the plays that most people might overlook, so that what was already a really good play became an extremely good play. We were also offered a lot of freedom to explore Oxford and London, and as someone who never had the privilege to travel around out of Asia, it was an unbelievable experience. My friend and I went on a Harry Potter tour in London, what I call the Harry Potter tour, and we visited many filming locations. For example, that boat is the Durmstrang boat from the Goblet of Fire, and the video shows the outside of the Ministry in the Deathly Hallows, I think, and also Gringotts and Knockturn Alley. There's something about studying English at Oxford that gets me longing to go beyond university level and do maybe an MPhil or a PhD in the future. And that wasn't something that I planned to do, because I always thought that I wanted to be a secondary school teacher. 3 years ago today, I was convinced that teaching was the only thing that I wanted to do. But my time in the English department at CU provided so many new perspectives, and the Oxford trip was just one of the many things that I've experienced in this department that made me realize that there are so many different ways my life could go, and so many possibilities that I never would have encountered had I not come here. That's why I say, and in fact, we say, that choosing English at CUHK is the single greatest decision we've made in our lives so far. Feel free to come talk to us afterward at the booth outside if you want to know more about the department, our activities, or our Oxford trip. But that's it from us. Thank you.